Hi, this is Roland from Defense of the Patients, a Dota 2 podcast. We'd like to thank you guys for listening. We hope you're enjoying the content. If you are, please remember to tell a friend. You can swing by iTunes, you can give us a funny or positive review, and we'll read it on the show. Find us at defenseofthepatients.com. Thank you for listening every Monday and Thursday to DotP.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Defense of the Patients, a Dota 2 podcast. I'm your host Cyphus, sitting here with co-host Wazoo.
How's it going, guys?
And Roland, back from his trip.
Yeah, finally. Hi, guys.
And we managed to get one game in with Roland before, well, I managed to get one game in with Roland before we recorded.
Yes, we did.
And it was a win.
It was a W, dude, and it felt great.
Yeah, after a miserable weekend for me and Wazoo.
After a miserable weekend for me, dude.
Can I say right off the bat that it wasn't a miserable weekend for me in Dota, even though we did lose a ton.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm kind of to the level in my mindset because of this podcast that I feel like any time spent playing the game is constructive in ways.
Sure. I mean, it gives us material for the podcast, and the podcast helps us think critically about the game.
So as they're yelling at me, I can just forget you guys.
Being optimistic.
You and I have gotten better about muting when the other team is encouraging.
When it's unconstructive and someone's out to blame any and all mistakes on a single person, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's never constructive to yell at anyone in a situation of stress. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't help. Yeah. It doesn't help when that guy's like, wow,
you don't get the outcome you want.
Missed that Sunstrike. And it's like, dude, it's really fucking hard, I promise. It's the only spell I know is Invoker. You know what I mean? It's hard to hit it.
Sure.
That's kind of infuriating, too.
It's like,
you're going to Sunstrike. Go play Lena, dude.
I'm
She has that spell really good.
So real quick, we want to thank everybody for listening. You can always find us at defenseofthepatients.com or at .p_show. And I guess to get us going here, state of affairs, Roland, of course, was out of town, managed to get a game in with us, but Wazoo and I played a ton this weekend, a lot of losses, and I am down. I'm down, and that's why I think for you it doesn't feel so painful, but for me it does, because I dipped below 1,300 and then came back because of this game that I played with Roland just now is the only reason I'm
plus
still
28,
in the 1300s.
motherfucker.
It's just a number, dude. I feel like Bane, like how he felt. Just I would make my Batman Bane, not Dota 2 Bane. Like the darkness formed me. The Dota formed me, man.
We're giving the city back to its people. It's my only good impression, and it's not even good.
It's a good Bane. It's a good Bane.
But yeah, so, and I still haven't played that last game because I just played with Wazoo this weekend. We played a ton.
But we played with a 5-stack, and the dynamic's hard. We played some Captain's Mode.
What'd you play with?
Yeah, all those guys. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting at around 2,200, down from my 23-something. We lost a lot, man.
Ugh, yeah, I saw teetering on
and
the
I played some
2,200
solo
edge.
games, but I'm actually up. I'm sitting at around, 2,100 on my solo when I was previously. So I've, 145 games since last.
We're the students here then, dude. I'm at,
no, I don't mind losing that much on this team thing. It gets awfully confusing when, you're playing on different clan tags and you have to click different things, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing that I realized most this weekend playing with you was that communication when it was good between you and I and the other 3 members of the team, those were our best games. I mean, those were the games we were winning,
and we were as Gorgon said.
Yeah, but we were changing out a lot too. Like the 2 who is you, me, and 3Flow, but then the other 2 changed quite a bit. We got a game in with the British gentleman again.
Oh, wonderful!
Yeah,
Did you win?
No, it was terrible.
No, I'm sure they never want to play with us again.
Oh,
it was
really?
pretty bad.
They were very polite.
Was there blame game going on or
no?
Oh, cool. That's cool.
No. We play with generally pretty positive people.
Yeah, I think we did mostly this weekend. We met 2 guys while doing matchmaking that were just that we just clicked with, and that happens.
Sure.
Well, you and I just had that.
Yeah, we did. They added us
to
to the friends list.
Yeah. We actually had a
cool.
guy who his hi-fi. What was his name again? We just played with him randomly, and he checked out the podcast on his own accord and said he really.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's fame,
cool.
dude. We made it. We're here.
I just heard David Bowie's fame. in my head. That's what it means to me. Anyway, sorry, dude.
It's nice. It's really nice to have those people where, like, there are two conditions needed to be met to be my best friend on Dota 2. And that is, we gotta win the game. Because if we lose the game, like, fuck the world. You know what I mean? Not really. I don't really have that attitude.
Well, if you're losing, but you're kind of right, because if you're losing and it's the first time you've played with somebody, odds are you're fighting.
Sure.
You know, or somebody's
getting
blamed
upset. And somebody's upset. So the second condition that has to be met is just general obnoxiousness level just needs to be a little bit down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we found some guys that were really cool. I mean obnoxiousness like the people that say me mid. I find that obnoxious. I like people that actually use sentences and want to communicate and have a good time with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is surprisingly rare for a team game.
Which is.
You'd find that in a lot of team games, you know?
Yeah, so it's really
the
nice.
all me attitude. Like, I will step on your heads.
Well,
to my way
that's
to the
first person shooters, I think, because I mean, they're, you know, how many games? Not that you can ever play professionally this way, but like Halo, maybe the one we have the most experience with console wise. When you're playing Halo with just the normal matchmaking stuff, you can be awesome and carry a team.
Sure.
You know, it doesn't require anybody else
And Dota 2 provides a similar pub-type stomping experience as Halo did on the consoles in a weird way. It fills a niche that the FPS market can't seem to tap into.
No, and the FPS market never will because there's a difference. I mean, with Dota 2, it's quantifiable when someone messes up. Whereas on a shooter, it's almost subjective. Was he supposed to be there and get shot, or was he not supposed to be there?
Well, typically it's a bad thing if one of your dudes gets domed in the face with a bullet.
In any game. In any game,
Yeah,
actually,
really, I
turns out.
guess. Like Dota 2 as well, if Sniper domes you.
Oh, yeah, Sniper. And that's that will appear on Worst Way to Die Tonight, something with Sniper.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be doing that, I think, at the bottom of the show for those listening. So hang around and see if you
show
want
talk.
anything.
Bottom of the show.
talk.
I like that.
Yeah.
Bottom of the show.
Well, this is the top of the show. We're getting close to the middle of the show, so maybe we should. Maybe we should play a game.
To the middle of the show?
It feels like we were getting close. We haven't seen
what
each
about
other
State
in
of
forever.
Affairs? Do we not do State of Affairs anymore?
We just did. We're getting.
You don't really have some because
I thought we were
you
gonna,
don't really have any.
I played a game. I'm plus
A single
28.
game.
Okay, I'm plus 28. I'd like to add that.
You're up for the weekend.
I played Nature's Prophet and I built phase boots second.
Yeah.
Before my first big item, I had phase boots.
Wow.
I think that's a novel idea to build phase boots there.
Yeah.
I
wonder how the rest of the
escape.
community would feel about buying boots with I don't know.
Nature's Prophet, Hand of Midas first, phase boots second. And you'll be surprised at that snowball of gold once you get.
One day
We've killed the boots joke with him. It's over.
You guys-
No, I was just thinking that one day we're going to be on stage and everyone will think that that'll be long dead and we'll be like casting the international 2045 or something when we finally made it after 30 years of hard work.
I'll be long dead. I'll be long dead.
I'll be a robot.
I'm just going to open up a net of boots all over your head.
And no one will get it because it will be like the first two shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, so your state of affairs is that you're up 28 points.
I'm
from
up
last
28
weekend.
points, and I won a game with Nature's Prophet.
Where does that put you at?
I think plus 28 on whatever I was last time we were recording.
You haven't
I
even
promise.
looked. We should have looked before
No,
we
I
came in.
didn't
I can't
look.
believe it.
It's been a crazy day. I've been traveling all day. I mean, got
So
here.
mark
started
him down at
recording
like
with you.
10:28.
Yeah.
No, I think I was like 1450 last time, so I must be like close to 1500s.
Okay.
I think.
That's sweet. You're definitely improving.
I'm hoping.
You can
I'm
see it in
improving.
people's mechanics and how they look at the game and how they engage fights, and I can definitely see it in both of you guys.
Oh,
I'm not just giving you like the old
definitely.
wizened like baseball coach speech.
Yeah.
I've seen you pull better out there. But no, both of you guys, like in terms of your positioning, is getting a lot better. I remember
you.
like even pulling off like a team fight was almost impossible at the beginning of this trek.
Yeah.
Because like we would be engaging almost like one at a time. Like we'd have the initiator, and then one of you guys would move in, and then the other one. You know,
Sure. And
rather
okay,
than all at once.
I think it should be brought up. When we very first started playing, the three of us, what was our ultimate win-all? Do you remember that?
Faceless Void, Skywrath Mage, and
Lich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we won. What happened was we won like 3 games in a row using it. And what would happen is Faceless Void would Chronosphere, and everybody would run in. Skywrath Mage would kill one person, and I'd throw my Chain Frost, which is Lich's ult that bounces from person to person. With a certain range, and we'd kill everybody, and we win the team fights, and we ultimately would win.
It was a flawed strategy, though.
It was.
It was because
It
you
was
couldn't
extremely flawed.
control who got the kill gold. So
we were.
the Lich would launch off, and if any of you don't know what Lich's ult does, it shoots a big ball of frost that bounces between enemies. By the time it's upgraded, it's pretty much like it's a pretty big nuke by itself hitting you. But as it bounces, it starts to really do a ton of damage. And Lich gets all the kills in that lineup, and if Faceless isn't fed, he's kind of useless late game. So that's when our strategy fell apart.
The damage does not increase as it passes from target to target. It gives you more bounces the further you get it upgraded. And when you have Oghanims, it increases the damage. Yeah. It's just the base each time it hits somebody. But yeah.
There's obviously, as we've been better players, we've realized that there's lots of better supports that can go in that slot.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of just giving you push
and the
potential.
slot for that match.
Well, Skyrat's pretty good with the Faceless. He really is.
Well, because I can at least target.
Even in the same lane.
I can at least target an individual.
You can freeze somebody. Yeah, you can
And
do what the pros do.
Slow them.
You can do what the pros do and slow
Because that's
them
what you're
down,
lacking.
you know?
You're really lacking that nuke in the Chrono early on as Void. I mean, you could have Mask of Madness, and you can, like, if you get some good procs on your Time Bash, then yeah, you're doing good damage. But if you don't, I mean, it's some nuke to back it up.
Yeah.
And we thought we were the shit. I mean, if you recall with this strategy.
3 games make a man drunk with happiness.
Yeah, we were climbing. That's when I got the 1800 or 1900. That's when I was doing the best. Maybe we should just revert back to what we were doing. And then we got spanked like 4 or 5 games in a row, and we're like, this isn't working. This is flawed. We just got countered a couple times.
We tried that last game that we just played, and this is getting into some strategy that we didn't really discuss beforehand, but we had the team push composition. We had 3 flow midding Death Prophet, him as Nature's Prophet, Roland, and me as Shadow Shaman supporting. So we had 3 out of the 5 of us as pretty heavy pushers.
That's a mean
push.
push.
And then we also had Naga Siren on the team.
Oh yeah.
And the push was just incredible. Naga Siren was taking down tier 2. I was still fumbling with the easy camps in the jungle.
And we had Clockwork.
Oh yeah, Clockwork.
Oh, that's cool. A lot of lockdown. And plus, you can just press that reset button with the Naga Siren. Siren's
we had
call
too much
freezes
lockdown.
Yeah. We did. It was
too
crazy.
much lockdown.
Well, because here's what. Well, I say that because you and I frequently, I would shackle somebody, and then I would see you tree them.
Sure.
And that shackle lasts a while.
You know what's confusing that I just noticed in that game was the animation for Shackle on Shadow Shaman. It's his 3rd ability, I believe. Is the same animation, or a very similar one, I'm colorblind, to the one when you get close to Clockwork's cogs. You know how it shocks you away when you try and walk into him?
Oh, sure.
It looks just like the shackle. So I was confused. I would see you bottom, and then I'd see people hit that.
When you see the long line between me and the guy.
Yeah, and I was like, where is he? Because there's no guy, but there's the electricity.
I've got a new strategy that you can check to make sure that you can see between that, actually, and it's called... Is it coming off a cog or off a Shadow Shaman?
Yeah.
99 cents on that.
I created a flowchart for you, and I guess you know where this joke goes.
Yeah.
That's
but yeah, that was the problem. Is I would shackle, and then Clockwork would throw up those cogs, and I'd watch Nature's Prophet.
And then you pop the ghosts on the DP, and you just clean them up, right, while they're locked down?
Yeah, I mean, that was the overall strategy. And then we could push with her ghosts and leave behind Serpent Wards as we retreated.
Cool.
Mirror images.
And you were doing awesome with your pushes.
I wasn't at first. It's like I had been in the car all day and everything, and I was so impatient. I'd buy 4 Clarities with Nature's Prophet. And, you know, with Clarity, you cannot be hit or it cancels the mana regen, which is the worst goddamn thing in the world early game.
Yeah.
50 gold down the toilet, dude. Wasting.
I've had it happen.
So it's always those alpha camps, dude, where I'll go for the main alpha guy, and then they'll just attack me, even though my neutral creeps are in the camp, and my clarity's wasted. So that happened to me over and over and over and over, and I had a really slow game, and it was rough, but we won.
Yeah, we came back.
We won.
The worst is like when you pop it as you're like running from the creep lane, and like that magician one just casts one bullet that does like 5 damage, and it just knocks you out of it, and you're just
That's the worst.
have to go back and like disembowel that creep.
Yep. Oh, you have to kill them immediately after they cancel your clarity.
Okay, let's move us forward. Because we haven't played a game in almost a week. It feels like.
Oh my gosh, we haven't.
So let's play Guess the Hard Counter. Who you want to guess?
Well, the theme of tonight's episode kind of is terrain and
And
vision.
invisible heroes, right?
Yeah, invisible heroes. I don't know. Maybe have we done Darkseer yet?
Darkseer. I mean, what?
I'd like to talk about him because I feel like what you were talking about on the show a couple weeks ago about his ability to stack creeps on the Radiant side by doing his vacuum.
It's not stack creeps. It's pull the camp, pull the opposite camp, such that your creep may
up to that high ground, right?
No, what Darkseer does is he turns on a speed boost. Darkseer has a speed booster.
No. You don't know.
I
I'm
know
talking about the vacuum thing we were talking about.
Oh, the vacuum onto the cliff. Yes. Okay, never mind. Yes. Okay.
I mean, or an invisible hero, but we were going to talk about laning, warding your lanes too.
So I'm down to do an invisible hero if we're going to focus more on vision.
Sure, I think we should.
Maybe do Ricky.
I think on the lower levels, Ricky's a great one. Also, I think Broodmother is one to think about. I mean, I know we just played against Broodmother, but Ricky is the type that you need to carry around dust because he's all over the map. He's roaming,
and I think you see him pub stomp a ton.
You do see him
at least you know where you need to be looking
where
out.
she is.
Yeah,
you need to be good at counter warding. It's a little battle that you have, and when I play Broodmother, I buy sentry wards because I anticipate my opponent to have them. So if he puts the first one down, I win the battle, going back and forth because he has 2 and I have 2.
Well, let's do Ricky then. I mean, he's the tougher.
Sure. Yeah, that works.
Ricky is the one that annoys us all,
and I think
most.
He gives a lot of lower level players a lot of trouble.
And he's fun as hell to play when you play him and you are whooping ass. I will be honest, you feel like a jerk, but when you're whooping ass with Ricky, it's a pretty cool feeling. It really is.
Easily countered by such a prevalent, resource in the game, which is vision. I mean, it's available. It's a different type of vision. Ways.
It's kind of like dark energy or dark matter. It's like the other side that like you don't see, like in a video game. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We have this normal vision where we can see with our eyes, but then there's this other vision where we need to, see into a different almost realm. I guess. But
it's not hard for anyone to kill a few creeps and buy some sentries or a pouch of dust.
Sure.
And I think
let's do Ricky then.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Sure.
Wazoo, kick us off. Who do you think? You and me get to go first because Roland's won most of them.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to say I feel like I'm kind of like put on the spot here.
Okay.
Well, that's exactly what we're doing is putting you on the spot.
That's right.
Guess a hard counter.
Give me, I know, like 20 seconds. Guess though.
It's like in a restaurant when you have to pass over somebody. Let's pass over Wazoo. Cyphus, what do you think?
No. Don't pass on me, man. I'll nail this down. Come on. I'm gonna say Sven.
Okay. Give a brief explanation.
Okay. Sven's gonna have that heavy cleave. Maybe like Ricky's gonna blink on him and silence him before he can get his ult off. But in any case, he's gonna be swinging for big damage once he does get the ult off. And cleave is terrible for a melee Ricky that's gonna get up in his face.
The cleave's a passive.
It's a passive ability that you can upgrade, yes. And I don't know. That stun's gonna stop a Ricky dead in his tracks. So
okay, yeah, I like that vein. I mean, I feel like I always resort to stun, so I'm always trying to think outside of. And
stun's a good counter for a lot of things.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want to just go right to Faceless Void, even though he's really good at shutting down just about everything.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with you want somebody who's pretty tanky. I'm gonna guess Bristleback because Ricky's always trying to backstab you, and you do some pretty decent damage whenever you're getting attacked from behind.
That's very good thinking.
That's a very brilliant.
That's what I'm gonna go.
What you just did there was very good. I like that.
I'm gonna go with the one that I think is the hardest counter, and I think I won again, boys. I'm gonna already be cocky. Okay? I'm already cocky. It's Doom. Tankiness, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Doom also can Doom Ricky, which we've talked about. Doom, when he's silenced, he doesn't go invisible. Nope. So he's a completely visible little Ricky running around while he's doomed.
Okay. Wow, I didn't know that.
So I'm gonna go Doom. Doom makes Ricky naked. Should we go ahead and submit it?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
All right. So once again, I want to give these guys infinite plugs. I don't know who they are. You're awesome though. DotaEdge.com.
Yeah.
It's called Defense of the All Pick. You plug in things. They have a really cool math aggregate that's user defined, that picks the best counters.
And it's probably good for our level, truth be told.
Yes, it is.
You can plug in team compositions and look at what, based upon user aggregates, people consider to be the best counters for those comps. So it's really cool for budding interest, I think, for us.
Yeah, it at least gets you thinking about counters. That's what I've enjoyed.
In your own way,
Yeah.
because it's very much a tool that's left up to your interpretation in a lot of ways. And so we're just
and we're using it as an arbitrary determinant of who the winner is.
That's right.
We
need you.
I'm going to defend myself a little bit on this one.
Oh, no.
Because you totally won.
Oh, yeah.
Bristleback is totally the winner. 4.31. 4.3. You stole Gorgons. That's
I
not
cheated,
2 in
sure.
a row. That's
Yeah.
1 in a row.
I have
That's
moral
hard
flexibility. I feel okay about it.
Yeah, okay.
So 4.31, I guess it's just because Bristleback takes less damage if you hit him in the back or the sides. Doom Bringer. Okay, so here's Doom's thing. Ricky counters Doom as Doom counters Ricky. So that's why he's not as good of a hard counter.
Sure.
Ricky's good against Doom because the Silence Cloud.
Okay, let me explain my thinking to you. And that
Okay.
was also that Bristleback is going to be a great candidate for like carrying a Gem of True Sight.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because even if Ricky gets the jump on him and can silence him, Bristleback can get out of there and
And those quills. Do you understand how the quills work?
Yeah.
Oh, that they stack?
Well, explain it to the audience. There are probably people who don't.
I don't want to explain it in perfect detail.
Well,
Well,
someone would be glad
I've only
to.
played Bristleback like twice.
I don't really
I will
understand
screw
how
it
it
up.
works.
I've never
So
played him.
what happens is the
kind of.
bristles, he shoots them out and they go pretty far. Even though the animation doesn't seem like they go pretty far, they do go pretty far. And they stack. So once you get X amount on you, I think you are more susceptible to more
All right,
damage.
you want the official answer?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
How was my guess though? Like, I
Good.
think more damage.
It's like a stack ability.
I think it's a
that,
stack.
Bristleback takes less damage, so this is his E ability, his E
the-
ability.
we want the spikes.
Okay,
that are
well,
shooting
takes
out.
less damage if hit on the sides or rear. If Bristleback takes 250 damage from the rear, he releases a Quill Spray of the current level. So that's what auto sets the Quill Spray
Oh,
off,
it's like
which is his
it's a
W
proc.
ability.
Yeah.
What does proc stand for again, please, Wazoo?
Oh, we forgot.
Procedural.
No, processing.
Process.
Processing.
Procedural, because it's like a term from MUDs, multi-user dungeons, like those role-playing text adventures, which was procedural generation. So process. You're right.
It is, I
I'm thinking
think
of
it's
something
process. I was going to be
completely
like, let the user,
No,
let
I was
the
like, a
let the listeners
procedural is
decide.
like Law and Order.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. It is,
I think
it
it's
is
processing. So it's the
not
it's when you
processing.
hit something
It's process.
It processes something
sets
else
off
to
a
happen.
process.
Yeah, it sets off
It's
a
not
process.
processing though.
Someone set us straight.
Process.
All right, and then the Quill Spray sprays an enemy unit with
That's what we're
quills
talking
dealing damage in an area of effect around Bristleback. Deals bonus damage for every time a unit was hit by Quill Spray in the last 14 seconds.
Cool. Yeah. So it stacks.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a radius of
does damage.
625.
Bristleback would be a really
So
cool.
that's why
hero
Bristleback's
to do a
awesome.
show on.
Doom gets a 3.66 against Ricky, and Ricky gets a 3.08 against Doom, and this is out of 5. So Doom is a little better of a counter to Ricky as Ricky is to Doom. As confusing as this
Sure,
is how I
sure.
made it.
You,
But
you are really trying to
Cyphus-
defend losing.
I am. Because he's so cool. You can
It's
just
all right, man.
Doom him, man.
It's
That's
all right.
okay.
It's
And
all right.
Sven, I don't know.
Can't
dude.
win them all.
Sven, I think actually Ricky beats Sven, maybe.
Yeah, very well could be. I
know.
was put on the spot. I should have said Kunkka.
Kunkka, yeah, no Kunkka here.
I should have said I should have said 80 different
Yeah,
heroes.
yeah. All right, so let's move into the strategy talk. And so this all began with you and I talking about invisible heroes, or I guess all the three of us, and then that kind of evolved into, well, how do we really talk about invisible heroes without maybe first and foremost addressing vision and terrain, right?
Yeah, we wanted to
Sure.
do a kind of lay ground for a vision discussion that will build into more discussions based upon these invisible heroes, because so much of the gameplay with these different invisible heroes, it's really different. I mean, how you play a Ricky is way different than how you play a Bounty. You know, like, Bounty's going to be lurking and getting those tracks off and trying to get the track gold for his team, while Ricky's going to be trying to get in and get the silence. You know, they play differently, although they're both invisible heroes.
Yeah.
So, talking about just saying this counters invisible heroes is a dangerous discussion, so we
Yeah.
didn't want to do it that way. We want to do it through a vision discussion,
Yeah.
first of all.
And I agree, because that's, I mean, I'm definitely, still learning the ins and outs of where I should be warding and when, even still. And just like you were talking about, taking the high ground, always taking that high ground advantage with a ward, making sure that you can see further because of that high ground.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Roland.
Oh, thank you. And to add to that, the wards and also understanding vision. There's a lot of people out there, and we all are guilty of this, that, well, maybe with the exception of Cyphus, that want to play middle. You want to play middle position. It's exciting. It's fun.
You're a very impactful role.
Yeah, you're getting all this experience and this gold.
You get to gank.
You get to gank. Yeah, it's
first blood is likely yours.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's the metaphorical leading man of the Dota team.
Sure,
you know, I suppose.
And bringing wards into that and vision. I mean, you understand the creepy equilibrium is in the middle of the river. Supposing nobody blocks the creeps, let's just, the creep equilibrium.
They will meet if they're not blocked yet.
You want vision of their high ground. So putting a ward just right up the opponent's stairs is valuable. It's extremely valuable. Sure. But then it also plays into, I can only have 2 in the first 5 minutes.
Well, and that's, I don't know,
Observer wards is what we're talking about,
observer wards here with not sentries. But with observers, at least early on, I like getting one of the runes, and I usually like to get that rune vision from their side of the river as opposed to ours to just further enhance where we are. Unless
that's smart.
I don't know. Whenever you and I have been playing,
it's smart at our level of play, but if you think about that on the flip, like when we get to the point of dewarding, and them watching that river, imagine how easy it is for them to just deward it when it's on their side.
And they're
but they're not. But are they dewarding on their side?
Not.
You know what I mean?
Not at our level.
It's that game though that begins, and
it's just so back and forth. It's like reverse thinking to everything's forward again.
And more often than not, it's about who gets the ward down first. Because, for instance, that game you and I were playing, I think I was playing. The guy picked Shadow Shaman. And he kept running up to our top tower. Shadow Shaman kept pushing the top lane over and over that game. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I do.
Every haste rune, I bet, he grabbed.
Because we had lost our tier 1 tower, I warded that little cliff, on the Radiant side, its top side. That gives you, you can place it on higher ground.
Are you talking near tier 2?
It's got the eyeball on it, the ward spot.
near tier 2?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, near tier 2.
Okay, yes.
So I had warded that, and Shadow Shaman kept pushing that top lane on Radiant side. Anyway, he eventually I saw him run in there to ward the area, and because I had a ward there before him, I was able to go and deward it pretty quickly,
which is really cool.
Yeah, I mean, getting vision before your opponent sometimes is critical.
And it's 50 free gold if you can find one of those damn wards in an enemy's ward.
You probably dropped.
And it's a great feeling.
You dropped 100 to get 50.
But you get 50, you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like you've spent money on the wards at that point.
It still does. It does for me.
Well, when you're in a 5 spot, I guess it's a little different.
I feel it.
What do you eat when you're in a position 5?
What do I eat?
Yeah, as a hero. I mean, you're eating rats, dude. You're not eating well.
Oh, your Sven has a leg of lamb, and you're like, "Can I get some of that, sir?
Please, sir, may I have
some?" The salary for that spot is pitiful.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
But you do it because you really love the team,
Yeah, I do it.
Someone's got to love the team.
Yeah,
you're a patriot.
Nurture its growth.
You're a patriot.
But yeah, so getting vision before your opponents is pretty critical.
It's huge, and also just having vision of where they get vision is important, like you just demonstrated.
Yeah.
And Gorgon, when he was on the cast, also made a comment about people often when they deward at his around the 3K level of play, they'll instantly reward that exact same spot after dewarding it. And so what does the other person do? They go and deward it just right back, and then they have their vision back.
It's a war of attrition for sure.
And so it's better
at that point
to definitely ward in a different place, take different vision, because that should be viewed as a type of territory control. And that's how we're going to kind of look at the beginning of this discussion, I think.
Sure. And
territory.
Maybe we could touch on, I mean, as best as we can describe it, some good spots to ward and some bad spots to ward early game. Because I've seen some people, and I've been yelled at myself, and I know Cyphus has as well, of warding jungle camps. Maybe we could get into that a little bit.
Sure. But warding jungle camps isn't necessarily a bad thing unless you have a jungler.
Sure.
Depending on your side. I mean, there's that
Why
large,
not have
large camp closest to the lane.
Everybody's a jungler at some point, is what I would argue, Cyphus. I mean, you never want to.
Well, it depends on the stage of the game. Because look at that large camp by the lane. I mean, it depends on what heroes they have. If they have some big offlaners that are going to be coming in, then maybe, it's worth
And that is a good point, actually. At some point, everybody's going to need to farm.
Yeah, at some point, anybody
And
needs what
farm
extra
in the
scraps they
Don't
can get.
assume because you ward a camp once, you're going to be warding it all game. That only lasts.
No, but let's clarify
few
that
minutes.
if you place either a sentry or an observer ward in or in vision of or in a few abstract places that I cannot describe, it will block the jungle camp such that nothing spawns there.
Yeah,
Or
after it's
no
cleared.
further things spawn there after you kill them.
More or less, if any of those camps that are going to spawn can be seen by the ward, those creeps won't spawn in that camp.
Yeah, and there are some
when
tricky
it ticks
spots.
over for the minute.
There's some spots where you can put it in a tree, I'm sure, and it'll block 3 camps, that
Yeah.
the pros use every time. And it's an obvious place, so they don't place it there because the meta has changed so much.
But at this level, I mean, more or less, what you want to be warding early game is probably your own jungle, so you're not getting ganked through it.
Right.
And a rune, in my opinion, with that first set of wards.
yeah, and the rune is nice to see.
Well, I think it depends on which lane you're in, too. Because and that's where coordination between your supports gets important.
Which is hard sometimes
yeah.
when you're a 2-stack or a 3-stack.
Sure, because and I don't know if we've ever addressed this notion that at the very least the three of us came across logically, which is don't double ward the runes, because once you have vision on one rune,
Deductive logic.
right, you should know every 2 minutes where it's at.
yeah.
Even if you don't see it, you should know if it's not bottom. It's
Is there
top.
I'd like to-
times where you should maybe be warding that area a lot? Maybe if your mid lane super contested, sure. But for the
Yeah.
most part, probably not a good thing to ward.
And,
Right.
And you have a lot of vision.
So
and
my
spots.
point being, if try to use the right terminology here, if your supports are in a more traditional lane setting where we've got support off lane going hard and we've got support carry going safe.
Yeah.
If you ward the rune nearest the hard lane, then the safe lane should probably be warding your jungle to keep you safe from the ganks. But if you're going hard lane and the safe lane rune was warded, you should probably be warding your enemy's jungle.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
listen to what you're
absolutely.
saying.
I
You're
think
saying
it's
safe
almost-
lane and you're saying hard lane.
I think it's almost always
Yes.
better to
Why wouldn't
have-
it be? Yeah, why wouldn't safe lane always have the most vision? It's the safest lane. Let's
Yeah.
get the
Because-
I
most
would
from
almost
it.
always want
Sure.
a ward
What-
up in my
Well,
jungle
because
early
safe
on
lane
to
because
win
safe
those
lane
games.
want your
actually
jungle.
because safe lane actually can ward both the jungle and the rune.
Yeah,
Yeah,
easily.
effectively.
Yeah, and then you can
Safe
maybe
lane
throw one
early
top.
on. but
for
you're
Radiant,
likely to
safe
get-
lane for Radiant, not for
Yeah,
Dire.
that's true.
Oh, wow.
That's true.
So
That's a crazy. Will you elaborate on that, please?
safe lane on Radiant, it runs along the bottom
Which is
part.
bottom, okay.
Yeah, you can slap ward right by the edge before it right where those stairs go down into the river.
It's even a little
the
beyond
eye,
that,
yeah.
and it doesn't block the camp either.
It does not
because
block
of
the camp,
bushes.
and
Oh,
it
okay.
puts it there, and you can see the rune. You can get it doesn't give you a lot of vision over the jungle, but it gives vision.
gives you
Importantly,
vision
over that little arrow,
that area-
that area that comes up
And
where
that's
they're
for the
gonna be going
bottom
from the river.
rune.
God, that was hard to get out.
That's
That's
what
for
would
the
be for the
bottom rune.
bottom rune.
And the Dire can't do that.
no.
The Dire safe lane is the top lane, the opposite
Yeah.
to the Radiant.
And you can't get a ward there to get sight on both the rune and the jungle area.
Oh,
effectively.
okay.
So
You
there's
just
these
can't.
little nuances to the sides, and of course, like a big obvious one with the Dire side where they're advantaged is those stairs come right down from their ancients into Roshan, and they've got a slight tactical.
So that's the
advantage in taking-
argument between Radiant being OP or Dire being
I don't know.
OP?
I don't know if that's ever an argument that's been made.
Is that
really,
an argument?
but
Because
I don't know.
You and I, Roland, talked
It's
about
not
this.
perfectly symmetrical,
No, it's
so...
there's got to be an advantage. Like I bet if you analyzed every game that had been played, you would see something similar to chess. Because chess is like what 50 point.
There's a lot of zeros.
White
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
up
there's a lot of
because
zeros.
that
50.01
tempo.
for white. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
maybe
rounding way.
more.
I'm
Yeah,
rounding way up.
Way up.
So I mean, there's probably. I bet you'd see something similar.
I think
in
you're
Dota
making the
2.
mistake in the logic here that the biggest variable, like,
It's a
is the
variable we
heroes.
don't feel.
It's the heroes more than anything.
Oh, definitely. That's why we love this game. That's why we play the same maps.
I don't think like
Even
it's
still-
going to come down to statistical advantage to those little things on the side. You know, it's the heroes that are drafted.
It still makes a difference.
It-
though.
it's gonna
but
make a
a very
difference.
minute difference.
so
but
little.
I mean, it would just be interesting. It'd be interesting to see
As little as
statistic.
like a rune makes if it spawns top or bottom. I'd say.
somewhere out there that statistic exists.
yeah, somewhere out
Sure.
there.
It'd be
And I
interesting
know
to see.
people are
I
doing
don't know
statistics
how
on this game.
impactful it is.
And I would love to join
Well-
like a research project on like statistics on this game.
Sure.
I love numbers, everything about numbers, patterns.
should,
you know what I mean? And I've done a little
stats guy on.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, down the line.
We're gonna have a stats guy.
Yeah.
Ah, cool. A
So,
stats guy, huh?
I don't. I
Can
mean,
I ask him really mathy questions?
I pray for our listeners' sake you don't.
Okay, I won't.
We're going to try to keep it non-mathy, but fun.
But also
And
a little mathy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, but no, yeah, there are little nuances to warding that are painful to learn, honestly. And you do get yelled at, and I still get yelled at by one gentleman that we play with some frequency, whom I won't name. But I get yelled at a lot for not warding both runes, even still.
Here's the thing. Here's their argument. I'm going to play devil's advocate, and I'm going to say both runes
All right, defend your Dota dissertation.
I will defend my Dota dissertation that both runes should be warded, okay?
Okay.
And this is what I'm going to defend. Both runes are warded, and we're a new team, right? None of us are advertising that we're pro or that we're even really that good.
No.
So how
Averages can be plain Jane.
Our map
below
presence
average, yeah.
is we're not waiting to watch that rune at every even minute. Perfectly, right?
Sure.
So
2 minutes.
So the gentleman that you're speaking of's argument is somebody could have taken it, and I wanted to see if they took it bottom. So even if it doesn't spawn top, I can't assume it's bottom because somebody could have taken it bottom.
I mean, unless somebody's waiting.
Which is, if you're watching at exactly the even minute mark, which is not that hard to do, pay attention when you're at about 50 seconds, then you know in about 10 seconds.
It's a flip of a coin.
I have to look up there, and then you'll know to just
if you're a good mid, what you'll be doing is you'll be looking at the rune spot at when it turns over to that 2 minutes, right when it spawns on your rune. And if you don't see it, you know you're heading bottom.
Exactly.
And then at the very least, you will see that other hero who took it. Hopefully you'll see what they took. Yeah. And if it's something bad like a haste rune, you can warn your bottom lane or top lane or wherever
also, another tidbit of information, you can kill runes. One hit, they die.
Yes.
If you need to deny a rune and you're a ranged hero and you see somebody about to grab it, attack the rune and it'll kill it instantly.
Rather than sitting around and waiting for it, sometimes it's best to deny those. But that's what we wanted to talk about. Sorry, Cyphus.
Oh, no, you're good. Go.
What we wanted to talk about is how important that is for the mid lane and taking when people tell you to ward the rune. And because it helps you come and gank the other lanes. It helps everyone get ahead.
Sure. And
so always buy that first set of wards.
Exactly.
Always do it.
And to bring it back, is we were saying that a ward on the top of the stairs on the opponent's side in mid. And the vision. And I think that's the best way to describe that there's like 2 levels to this game. There's more, there's 3 levels, but 2 levels that we really experience. And that's whether you're in the river or whether you're not, right? Or there's 3 levels.
Yeah,
I'm such a noob, obviously.
Yeah,
and also in the jungles you can go up and down.
Well, there's a lot of terrain
and on your base.
And on your base.
Is always higher.
Your base is always higher.
Sorry. I mean, there are a lot of...
But anyway, there's 3 levels to this to this Dota 2 map.
That just made me really want to play some Dota for some reason.
It did. It did.
I was just like, it's such a good map.
It is.
It is.
We play the same map every time.
I'm willing to accept that at our skill level, and again, I'm really glad that Gorgon kind of helped us focus, at least in that regard, on our discussion here. At our skill level, I'm willing to accept that warding both runes might be useful for seeing the vision of who goes where. And because we don't pay attention necessarily as well as higher skill players. I'm definitely willing to accept that as an argument.
And that is the argument there.
That makes sense.
But also,
I would still prefer
that one ward would do better elsewhere.
I agree.
And that's saving your carry, in my opinion, from getting ganked early on.
But then then it comes into like implied statistics. Is like you need that other.
You're thinking. Sorry, Roland. Or
go ahead.
Wazoo.
Go ahead.
You're thinking Wazoo. You're thinking defensively because you're thinking of yourself as a carry.
You are.
There is another way to think of this, and that is it's okay to have that other ward go top it's okay to have that ward go hard if the safe lane rune gets warded, because you can harass their carry, which is good for the team as well. Because you can utilize that jungle a bit better.
It's going to be situational, just like anything in Dota. Sure. But I'm more of a defensive player. You know what? Yeah. This is the best way. This is the most simple way you can describe it.
Which is
if you bring that ward to the top, it's a defensive one. If you throw it in that jungle up there, that's to save you defensively from getting ganked. And if it goes to the other one, if it goes in your hard jungle, or their jungle rather, then it's an offensive ward, obviously.
I like that.
But
and maybe it's good to be defensive early for the sake of the carry. I don't know.
I just
you
think
could argue,
it's
you probably
it's
argue
having
confusing,
people,
man.
having people back in there is terrible for a lot of reasons. It's terrible because people not only from that lane can be up in there, but the mid can come up.
Let's bring
And
it
if you don't
back.
see the mid come up, then you're screwed, right?
You're absolutely right.
absolutely. Oh,
You're-
sure.
If he's in your
absolutely right.
jungle and that's the first time you're knowing about it, you're
Sure,
in
but
trouble.
the same can be said for. I mean, remember, mid doesn't just gank safe every time. Mid also ganks
It's
hard.
a lot harder to gank through the hard lane.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the last few games you and I have played with 3flows and mid, I hear him more frequently than not say, taking this.
But think
To
about
the
it.
opposite lane.
Think about it. As a mid, as the mid dire side, if you're gonna go your hard lane, what are your choices? You can either go through their territory, their jungle, which they could have warded, hopefully defensively, or you go up through the river, through that little area we talked about, through that little canal, and you come up and they see you anyway. You know?
Yeah.
Are you talking the harbor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, is
or
that what
like
it's called?
I don't know.
No,
it's
it's
like a
just a
harbor, right? The
little-
little inlet.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
guess I don't know what you call it, but
But maybe
think-
we should bring this back to the invisible heroes, though. We've talked a lot about vision and space. What do we do if Ricky's roaming? What do I do if I'm Nature's Prophet or if I'm some jungle hero? And should I always be carrying dust? Should I always?
you should be actively thinking about where he could be getting you from and where you can ward to see him.
And calling missings on him. What do you do if you're laning against him?
Oh, yeah.
He's gotta be
that's a
somewhere.
great
Do you
point.
call
He's
missing?
got it.
Do you
That's a
call
great
missing
thing to
back,
bring up.
missing back, or do you even call it back?
Yeah, do I bug the hell out of my team
Yeah.
saying, Ricky's
Does
gone?
it bug you? Or is it going to bug you when you die? You know?
It's
Well,
gonna bug me, and
I
it's
think
gonna
it becomes the
it's
boy
gonna
who cried
interrupt
wolf
other
scenario, though.
communication.
Like, I
Yeah.
think you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because I think if I do, you're going to get to a point where you habituate to me saying, Ricky's
I'm not
missing.
talking about every single time you see him go invis, you're shouting missing and like freaking out about it. I mean, it's obvious to tell if someone's in the lane. He's a hard carry, he needs feed. So if he's not last hitting in your lane and he's gone and it's just a supporting lane,
That's true.
that's when you're like, missing, guys. I haven't seen this Ricky in lane for a while. A lot of people won't call it and say, scoff at you and be like, call missing on Ricky? He's an invis hero. And you're like, yeah, but he's got to be somewhere on this
Yeah.
expletive deleted map.
I'd
He's
like to
got
see the
be.
rage come out. See
No.
a little
He's
bit of
got
the
to be
rage
somewhere
comes
on the map. So
No,
if
no,
you're not calling
sure.
your lane missing, then
out.
And
doesn't
you make
matter
a
if
great
he's
point.
invis.
But
You
what
make
do
a
you
great
do?
point.
Do you
No,
track?
that's-
Like, how do you
No,
track him?
No,
Get
hold up. I'm going to
Vision
arbitrate.
on him with an item available freely in the store?
Are you talking Gem of True Sight, or are you
No, no,
talking
no, no, no,
No,
no.
I'm
three of
talking
them?
dust.
Wait.
Oh,
Here's
All
the-
three of them. Oh, you're trolling
All right,
me.
hold on.
Good one.
I'm going to arbitrate here. What he's saying is, and you bring up a good point. There are two things I think to what you're saying. If you want to keep track of Ricky in lane, you got to be doing two things right. One, paying attention to him, because if he is going invisible, he's got to become visible again to get those last hits because he's a carry.
Yes.
So if you all of a sudden stop seeing Ricky pop up periodically taking a last hit, you can probably guess that he's gone if he hasn't grabbed the
Right,
last
and
two or
don't
three.
tell your team when
But
they
where?
die to a Ricky and they go missing, and you go call missing on a Ricky.
You're
He's
very
an
passionate
invis
about
hero.
this. And then the other thing is, if you're laning against Ricky, you're right. Theoretically, you have some sentries down, or I have sight of Ricky.
Hopefully
in
it goes-
some
You should know where he
capacity.
is if he's in your lane. I'm sorry. Like, if you're against certain heroes, you'll buy certain things. If, you know, good example is regen early game, mana early game. If you see someone that you can...
Or that's
You
gonna
always
damage you.
accommodate in different ways when you see that you can take an advantage. But it's never like that with Invis heroes at this level of play for some reason. It's thought like, I can get by without it. Like, that gold is going to be somehow better used somehow else than showing you an Invis hero.
then taking away his greatest
That's
power.
a great point. Like
Yeah.
we feel like we're
just-
hoarding these gold points, these gold pieces.
Yeah. You're not
Like-
hoarding it, man.
And it's like the point of having gold is to win.
You know what
right?
my best
Like
way to die is?
What's your best way to die?
Right when someone's about to kill you, like you're doomed and you're just at like 100 health. Man, you buy something just worth 1,000 gold just as you die.
Oh yeah.
And it's just
and
like,
you have 1,000 gold and you
and
spend
then you
all
die
your
and
gold.
like, and
Yeah.
it's fine, man.
Sure.
Life's been good to you.
Sure.
Sorry about that, though.
Oh, it's fine. I did lose my train of thought, but
I
that's
think we may have killed that topic to death.
Well, anyway.
Invis heroes. I did want to
Yeah.
bring this up. There are two different types that we're dealing with, and I'm going to use two generic invisible heroes, and that's going to be your stationary invisible hero, Broodmother, and your roaming invisible hero, Ricky. And I mean, that could probably cause a million wildfire of discussions out there, of disagreements, but I'm going to say Broodmother has to be stationary because of her nets. And that's what causes her to be invisible is her nets.
Webs.
Her webs. Yes. Thank you, Cyphus. And so if you're laning against Broodmother, it's better to buy sentries, but if you're laning against Ricky, is it better to buy dust? Or dust and sentries for both?
I think sentries when you're laning against Ricky. I
Why
think
not
dust when Ricky's in the game.
Do you need dust
Why
at
not
all
both?
for Rick or for Broodmother?
Here's why not both. Because your supports aren't made of goddamn gold. Because when I'm up there by you, I'm buying sentries because they're stationary.
I almost
Good
just said,
supports are made of.
tell that to the other team when you fed 12 kills.
That's good.
No, I'm joking.
Answer
You
me
played
this.
a great maiden, man.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
No, maybe.
She's not
I'm
easy.
still learning.
She's
her
so
too.
slow and easy to feed with.
She's
Yeah.
really easy to feed with. Do I buy dust if I'm laning against Broodmother?
You buy dust if you're laying against
It's
Broodmother. I
Broodmother.
don't think so. No,
Because you
No.
know what's going to happen? She's going to run off into her webs down lane and just wait until that dust runs out and come right back in. With her, you want to be kind of acquisitioning territory in a way, because that's what she's doing is she pushes down lane with those webs. And you want to be pretty much battling for vision.
She has a
and
maximum of 8 of them
Yeah.
when it's maxed out.
And
She starts
so
out
that's
with
like
2.
an entire lane almost. I mean, there's going to be some gaps, but
Sure.
like
yeah, sentries are definitely the best.
It's
counter.
about
you want to
from
make
your-
her not be able
yeah.
to pass a point. And like her great strength is just being able to push out those towers.
She's
you know?
so cool.
Yeah, she's good at it.
Oh, also, if anybody's listening and they would love to comment on this, I'd really like to know. And I know I could just Google it, but it'd be cool if you participated. Why is Broodmother banned in ranked captain's
She's
mode?
not banned.
Yeah, you cannot pick her in
I
ranked
know,
captain's
but neither
mode.
can you pick Legion. You couldn't pick
Why?
Oscar for a while because they're rebalancing the hero. They're
Oh,
making
so they don't think the hero's balanced?
They don't think it's a balanced enough hero or Ice Frog doesn't think it's balanced enough for the current meta.
Wow.
I guess. You know, that would be my guess, but who knows? Who knows why they're not included?
Yeah, well, I understand why Terrorblade and all that. Like,
Well, you've told me about these. Well, they're new heroes for one. Some of them.
I don't
Brood's
think
not
Broodmother
necessarily
is.
new.
But I know Brood's. At
But
least
look how
18
they've
months
just
old.
played around with that web. Like, look at how big that change
Yeah.
was. You were telling me the web used to her webs when they go down would knock out all the trees they landed on.
What?
Yeah,
Yes.
all
it
the
would
trees.
clear the trees. It's in a Purge video on YouTube where he's playing Broodmother, and I'm like, oh my god, I wish my webs cleared the trees.
Yeah, that doesn't
You
happen
can still
anymore.
walk through them. You can still walk through your webs. So you can walk through impassable terrain, some impassable terrain with your web, but it doesn't grant you vision like it used to, like
Oh,
taking
okay.
out a clump of forest.
Yeah. Sure.
And it's like, oh my gosh, it was so cool to see. Like, it's good that they patched it.
So they're
Yeah.
obviously
But it
like
was-
trying to figure out where that hero even is that hero a pushing hero? You know, obviously that's what they want it to
so.
be.
I mean, she's
but-
definitely a utility here. Well, she's a good mid.
where
She
does
is a
she
good mid,
belong,
but she's
you
also
know?
good. She's a good solo.
She
I don't think
belongs
she'd
solo
necessarily-
lane. She needs
she
the
wouldn't even
levels.
necessarily get picked in a pro meta if she was.
No, she would never get picked.
Out,
I don't know. I don't know
but
enough about pros
who
to
knows?
say she would get picked. Or
yeah,
never
I
get
don't
picked.
think I can comment there either.
I don't think she would.
I
get
think-
picked.
I
She's
didn't-
just.
I don't think
takes
I
up,
saw
She
her.
takes up a full lane.
Yeah, but she needs it. She needs it for a little bit, and that is really to get the webs and to get the spiders.
But that's a circular argument you're using. I'm saying like I wouldn't ever pick her because not that I'm a pro or anything, of course, by God. But I'm just saying I don't think pros would pick her because she takes up a full lane of experience. And like you say, they
maybe
need
they
her,
made the
but
composition that could.
She just doesn't have that
could
much impact.
Put that much space.
She's like a
I don't
weird
know.
hero.
Play her. I've played her a lot lately, and
I've
it's
played her a
maybe my
couple
favorite
times.
hero to play.
But she's weird. She's not like other
She's
heroes.
well, a lot
how
of
she
heroes are
builds.
weird. Invoker's weird as fuck, dude.
All right.
But Brood hardly fits into like a team.
Maybe
play
we should
mechanic.
wrap this
Yeah,
up.
we're wrapping this.
Okay. Maybe
we're
we
headed,
should wrap
we're headed
this
in all
up.
sorts of directions.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna play Worst Way to Die, Listeners Edition.
Worst way to die, listeners.
All of
edition.
them are listeners
Okay.
edition, or we'd like them to be.
Yeah,
we
we
did-
had
we
a
tried
lot
to do
of
ours.
feedback. Oh
Did
my
a couple
god,
of ours.
this community is awesome. I want to thank you guys one more time to say that I can throw out a couple messages as I'm on my way back from Colorado, and you guys are telling me your worst ways to die, and I appreciate it. My favorite that I'm gonna read,
Okay.
and then I'll let you read one, Cyphus.
All right, all right.
Okay, it's from a guy named Dave, and he says, "Watching helplessly as I'm bashed to death by Spirit Breaker," and it's playing Nature's Prophet. I treat myself as he's coming because they're like, he's raging toward you, watch out. It's like Jaws, dude.
It's like
you're
being beat to death by a teddy bear.
And you're like, all right, I'm going to TP out. And for some reason, I tree trap myself to TP out. Like those trees will give me a barrier against him. Nope. He busts right in there, dude.
He can't bust in there.
So Dave, thank you for responding and submitting.
So
and
you
listening.
you already have Roland's vote apparently.
Yes, I think that is the best way.
You got to read candidate number 2. We're going to do 3 candidates. And we're going to vote.
Yes, we are. Okay. You know where my vote lies. Damn.
Okay.
And then let's read one more from
the Twitter.
Yeah, from the Twitter. I'm just looking through here. Trevor says 5-man wipes. I'm not going to include that because we all agree there. We don't need a vote. A 5-man wipe sucks.
Many games have been lost from that.
Yeah,
Yes.
They are special situations though. I don't know.
We want more specific.
Yeah, I guess. All right. So it doesn't. Well,
Yeah, a little more specific.
We're not going to include.
Tell
that.
me
That's not
how you
candidate
5-man wiped.
And
Did that
also-
Enigma black hole you?
Sure.
Got to give us another candidate.
And Joe also, Sunstrike in the fountain after TP. I agree with you, man.
All right,
Agree
it
with
can
you,
be a
man.
candidate.
That is a candidate.
Although we have talked about it.
We have talked about it a lot.
It is a miserable
But
way
it's
to
like,
die, though.
oh, god damn. I'm glad you brought it back up. Joe, that's a terrible way to die.
All right. The Sunstrike gets it.
pretty
This
awesome
Is,
for
or
the
the
other
gets
guy, though.
candidates 2
Awesome
slot.
Candidate 2. So let's go through the first 2 candidates before we pick the third.
I think we need to go the third
Okay,
candidate
go,
and then go
Cyphus.
over all 3.
Go.
This is from Chris via our email. Being swapped into a sure death by a vengeful spirit support on your own team. The incident I most remember was after the Vengeful had gotten ward trapped by a Shadow Shaman. I was a bristleback. The Venge's excuse was that they thought I was tanky enough to survive. Needless to say, we lost that team fight and probably the game, though I can't recall. That one feels like...
And they were probably just
That's
like,
a
what,
team
bro?
kill.
What, bro? Why couldn't you handle it? Why couldn't you handle it, bro?
Yeah, you're bristleback.
Maybe
You
that
should have
is-
been able to bristle your way out.
Maybe that is the worst way to die.
I
A
think
team
it is.
kill?
That's
Your
why
team
I,
kill?
I
that's
think
why
a
I
lot of people
nominated
think
it.
bristleback is just like immortal.
Wazoo, where do you stand with these 3?
Yeah, you got to pick. You're the deciding
So
vote.
we have this.
Oh,
we
cool.
have Dave, who hates getting killed by Spirit Breaker. We have Joe, who is the Sunstrike in the fountain.
Yeah.
And then we have Chris.
dying to the friendly, vengeful spirit swap.
You're the tiebreaker.
It's like this guy was so specific and it's so hilarious that he was swapped that I have to go with him just based upon
Thank
the
you.
hilarity.
Thank you for making the
Well,
right
you know
decision.
what, Dave?
ridiculous
I know what it's
situation.
like, Dave, to get
I think
bashed by
both-
Spirit Breaker.
But guess
I know
what,
what it's
Dave?
like.
Chris is the one who's going to be getting the worst way to die weapon.
Dave, mail in.
So Dave,
Mail in more.
So what is Chris gonna get?
Both
I
of you
think
guys.
A vengeful spirit item. Of
It's
course.
got to be a vengeful spirit item because normally we give you the hero that killed you, which would be Shadow Shaman in this case. But I feel like
Yeah.
it's the vengeful that's really
Vengeful killed
responsible for it.
And we'll engrave it with something funny like Swapperoonie, Baboony or something.
Yeah,
I don't
we'll
know.
put something
That's
good
not
on
funny.
it. We'll put
Yeah.
something good on it.
Something.
Chris, I'll shoot you an email back, or you hit me up, and we'll arrange to meet up on Steam to get you your vengeful spirit item.
Oh, and thank you everybody. I know there's a lot that we didn't include. We wanna span you out. And we're picking our favorites. And we're also picking
Yeah,
fan
and we want
favorites.
specific scenarios, as specific as you can get in 140 characters on Twitter. But remember,
Sure.
you can always hit us up at our email.
Or you can direct message us on Twitter.
Guys,
Yeah, which
we've
is
been
also
getting like a
character
pretty
limited.
overwhelming response from everyone who's been listening and enjoying our content, and we've been
Sure.
reading everything
And
everything that
we
comes
have-
in.
as quickly as we can.
And thank
And
you, Eric. I'm gonna say I'm just
criticisms
gonna say
as
thank
well.
You,
We-
Eric.
we
You've been
appreciate
doing-
good
You've been helping us out a lot.
Yeah, he's always saying nice
Eric,
things.
Shane, you guys have been awesome.
Ryan, who wrote the very first iTunes review that ended up showing up so far.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, Ryan, thank you.
A hero.
Everybody, you
A
guys
hero
have
among
been.
A
iTunes
hero. That's right.
This is fun. We all love this game, and it's great to see this community that
Yeah.
loves this game just as much as us. And
Are we going out on the show?
I think we're gonna wrap things up. So,
Okay.
quick show announcement: next episode will be Thursday. This one's coming out late Monday night, as you all well know. But we're going to adhere to that Monday-Thursday schedule. So when you wake up bright and early Monday morning, depending on what time zone you're in, you should have an episode of Defense of the Patients good to go, and on Thursdays as well. This Thursday, I think we've got it arranged with the Amateur Dota 2 League gentleman. He's going to be calling in, and we'll chat with him a little bit about that.
fun.
Is that not 100%?
I'm just sorting out schedule time with him.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it's probably going to happen.
Oh, fantastic.
And if not Thursday, we'll announce it, and we'll
Yeah,
get him
we'll
on the show later.
do it Monday.
when it
or-
fits
Yeah,
in
it
his
sounds
schedule.
like I can't wait.
Well,
I
and
can't wait to have him on the show.
I think it's going to be interesting for everybody. Well, you and I watched a couple of those over the weekend.
Some amateur Dota 2
Yeah,
League.
we logged on and watched it. It wasn't Phage. It was at 8-Bit Dota. Did the casting, and cool guy. Like, it's cool.
Is that the guy who's doing the 8-bit? It's not that.
I
not
don't
the same.
know.
Oh, wow.
We'd have to find out if it is. That's amazing stuff.
No,
Those
I-
8-bit
He'd be a
variations.
superstar.
I
Is
just
he a
wonder. Like,
superstar?
I saw those 8-bit Dota things, and I was
Those
like,
are cool. There's like only been like 8 of them done so far, or something
Yeah,
like that.
and they are cool.
I
They're
want
really
some.
cool. Just
Give me
type in
9.
like 8-bit Dota, and you'll
There's
find
8-bit,
him
I want 9
and
of
a
them.
Well,
bunch of
8-bit
stuff.
Dota is the caster's name, but
Just
hey, you'll
put
find
some
him too.
spaces in.
which
Yeah,
is
he's
awesome.
great.
I can't wait. We plugged a different guy. The 8-bit Dota drawings are cool, but 8-bit the caster is a cool guy as well. So
Yeah, and those were cool games. I
Yeah.
mean, I think it was admins versus casters that particular, or that first game that you and I caught
Yeah.
the tail end of.
it's going to give us an opportunity to talk a little bit more about the difference between pro play and amateur play and the metas, and also how much fun it can be to go play Dota in a tournament type setting as
Yeah.
amateur player.
How
Yeah,
do
why
you
not?
know how they determine it?
I
Like, is
can't
it
wait
by
to do it
MMR?
myself.
What group you get put in?
These
or-
are the things we're gonna have to ask him.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
okay.
These are the questions.
We've got
for him,
we've got
so-
our work cut out for us. I think everyone
Sure.
that's going to be
I'm
really
really
interesting.
curious.
Okay, so we're going to quickly wrap up here. Want to thank you guys for listening again. Hit us up on iTunes and leave us a review. You can always hit us up on email at defenseofthepatients@gmail.com. We're .p_show on Twitter, and we're on Facebook and Google+. Just give us a search and you'll find us. So I think until next time, for Wazoo, Roland, and myself, Cyphus,
We will bid you adieu.
thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys.
Giving the city back to its people. 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 The city.